What's up, bro?
Chilling. Another day, another dollar, another night to make this whole holler. I popped a cherry, then I popped my collar. Got brand from the brand new global.
What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Canoe Creators Spotlight, where we bring the amazing creators from around the world straight to you. If you see my face, you already know what time it is. As always, I'm your host, Chris. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the bell, leave a comment, leave a like, all those things you do on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, make sure you follow us and make sure you never miss any future episodes. We sure have tapped into the crazy energy today, as I am talking to my man, Mike Markz.
Yeah!
He is a songwriter, producer, musician who is now taking his first crack at to stand-up comedy and bringing that crazy manic energy to the stage. We want to hear all about it. Joe, what up, my brother?
What's good, man? I like to call myself a part-time comedian. You know what I mean?
Well, we're going to get into all of those great things, bro. But the first thing we want to know, obviously, you and I go way back. And there's so many stories that we could talk about on the show. Some we got to keep pretty PG. But, you know, before we get into anything, though, I want our audience who isn't fully initiated in the Mike Markz experience to know about you. So please tell the audience who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Well, my name is, you're right. My name is Mike Markz. That's basically my real name. And I started playing guitar at 15, and then you started playing guitar at 16, like right behind me. Yeah. And then we just basically like taught each other how to play guitar.
Pretty much.
And then from there, that's when I just started branching off to like. That's when I realized, like, if I could do and then start doing all this other shit, let me learn some other things like blues and jazz. And I was just trying to learn every fucking technique I could learn.
Yeah.
And then a magical moment happened when I was working at Guitar Center on my first days there. I heard this old dude just dial in like this perfect tone out of one of those Fender amps. Mm-hmm. And he just started hitting some simple notes. And I was just listening, and to this day, I'm just like, yo, that really did change a whole lot from my perspective. I'm just like, yeah. I'm doing all this wild, flashy shit, but that shit was amazing. Yeah, that simple, 100%. Those simple ass like chords and like notes was just like, okay, there's another layer to this that goes beyond what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. And then I just grew from there, and I just grew. And then it was just like, here I am. Yeah. Here I am as a guitar player, musician. Picked up some engineering, some production. Yeah. So, you know.
It kind of just all kind of comes full circle as you evolve, especially if you really start to get into it. It's the same thing in my story where I started playing guitar with you, and it just kind of spawned this whole love I have of production and engineering, and then recording downstairs in the basement studio of campus, you know what I mean? And just having that whole thing and that rough demos that we made, you know, it just I saw that gear and just how Pro Tools looked, and I'm like, man, I feel like I could really learn this. Like,
which, by the way, still got that joint. Still got it? Unopened when we tried to do the backdoor copyright.
Yeah, oh man.
It's still unopened.
Hey man, we gotta sample that one day and do something with it, you know?
God. I mean, I still remember the song, so don't even have to do that. I know how to do it. So
yeah. I mean, bro, honestly, like those first foundational years kind of just set us up for the people that we are today. You know, it helped balance us out, kept us off the streets, kept us out of trouble, and gave us something to kind of put all of our emotions, you know, especially that teenage angst. It gave us something to kind of lean into, you know, and created a love and passion that we both share, you know. One of the crazy things about you that I really love that I've seen in your evolution from teenage to young adult to, you know, full-blown man now, you know, is just how you've been able to kind of create this character, you know, this Mike Markz experience that you take up on stage where people really kind of feel the music and not just listening to it, but they feel like it really feels like an experience. Like people really like get captivated by just like the comedy of it and the aggression of it, and the way that, you know, we don't have a drummer, we have Kass up on the samples. You know, it's such a unique experience, and we've played plenty of shows together. How did you kind of create the early foundations of the Joe Mike Markz experience, and how did you make the early decisions to do some of those things?
Well, honestly, it just comes. Well, first, that whole Joe Mike Markz experience is just integrity. Like, really, that's really what the fuck it is. Like, I just go up there and I do me. As far as like the live setup and everything, that just came from like me needing to do what I gotta do. Like, right. I figured I could either have a band. I'm gonna have a band, but some days I'm gonna just need to do this shit myself. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it grew from there. So, and as far as like the drummer with Kass, shout out to my man.
Yep.
Yo,
shout out to Kass.
He holds it down. It started with him just pressing the button on the laptop. That's it. Like, I was like, that's all I need you to do. And then eventually I was just like, yo, all right, I got you a drum machine now.
Yep.
And then that changed the whole sound of it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is the show we had at the Meat Locker, that turned out to be one of the most like memorable performances we had. Mainly because when the sound went off.
Yes.
You know,
oh my God. Yes.
So the performance was going wild. The performance was popping and everything, and then we did I Am King, and then after that we did the remix, the Jersey Club remix to I Am King, right?
Right. I remember.
And then we just jamming, da 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 da, but then the drum samples went off, but we all still going. Kass is still hitting the MP and everything. But then one day we all looked around like, where the rest of this room? Where the rest of the sound at? This is just us going. It's
just us.
It's just a jam session right now. It is. That's what made I turned out that actually was one of the more groundbreaking moments for a lot of people in the crowd, because a lot of people wasn't sure what the fuck Kass was doing. Right. And I just thought he was just bullshitting back there. Yeah. Like, no!
He's Craig in the background with Slipknot just bopping.
He hit 808s and making this shit loud as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? So because of that, and that was at the Meat Locker. So and because of that right there, a lot of people was just like, yo, that whole show and experience was an experience, right there. It was just right like, there. Hey, you know what I mean? And that was and even though the sound went off and we lost the samples and everything, because we kept jamming and we didn't even realize it. Everybody, because I still get people coming back to me about that show in particular. You know what I'm saying? They be like, yo, that shit was wild. Like, I didn't know y'all was doing much. But it's, I know or at least Kass was doing much. They saw me wild. They saw you and Eugene wilding. But it was just like, yo, when they saw what Kass was, how essential he was to this shit. That brought it full circle for a lot of people, and you still get people bringing up that Meat Locker show to me to this day.
It's awesome, man. That means it left a real impact, man. It really gives something to talk about. And you know, the thing is, when you especially when you're starting off early, you know, making those type of memorable moments, you know, a real, like, what some people may consider to be like a fuck up or just like oh my God, I can't believe that happened. If you could kind of flip it and just kind of make it into something unique and just still have fun with it. I remember when we were playing with Kass at that basement show, and like we were trying to play his song, and then with the music we just couldn't figure it out, so we just went for it. And I just told him, I was like, you know what, fuck this, let's just do it. You know, just play. Gene, drop that shit. And we just went for it. And I don't know if we beefed it the whole time, but we just played it all the way through, and it was super fucking fun. And man, I think back to all the crazy moments, bro, from playing on Opsel at the talent show and you jumping off stage, unplugging your mic, and fucking playing that same basement show and you not having a mic clip and you having to tape the microphone to the mic stand. You know, it's those type of moments that people remember, especially when you're at the early stages. Like, anybody can go up and just play songs they rehearse, but it takes a real artist to go up there and say, you know what? Whatever happens. Let's go for broke. Let's figure this shit out and let's make something fun. You know what I mean?
Listen, man. one thing about being an artist that people underrate is the power and ability to have a beautiful jam session.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna just jump in here and just do whatever. It's just like, yo, you gotta practice how to jump in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
And you gotta practice a lot by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you ain't gotta be like super musically inclined, know how to write music, No, you just gotta be at home practicing your shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck it is, you just gotta be, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna join any jam session if you don't know where on the guitar is what.
Yeah.
What you're gonna do, how to fucking work your whammy, or whatever the fuck it is. Like,
whatever
you know
you
what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, when I tell people advice on how to play guitar, I'd be like, yo, just fuck with it. Just keep fucking with it. That is it.
That's 100%.
Like, you know, once you keep fucking with it, you know what I'm saying? Like when you first started off, like when we first started off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just pulling the strings and everything and just
doing whatever.
weird noises and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Just keep fucking with it.
Yeah, man. I think back to those early days a lot because, you know, you got to remember where you come from to know where you're going. You know what I mean? And it really does set that foundation. It's just like, I think back to those days and reminisce and be like, man, like some of the stuff that we did really kind of, you know, I was a relatively like shy person, you know what I mean? And the times that we went on stage, it wasn't really going on stage that got me out of it. It was going on stage and shit fucking up. And things going wrong and having to just deal with the crowd there and in the moment and being like, you know what's the worst that could happen? It's already fucked up. Like, let's just keep going, you know? And honestly, you've always been kind of like the crazy energy of the group that's kind of always, I don't know, it's always felt us kept pretty level. You know what I mean? It's helped us feel safe. It's like the whole world could be chaos, but we got a chaos maniac on our backs right here with us. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, honestly, I do give a lot of security to like a lot of my friends because of that shit.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? Like when you have a vibe like that, there's no way to avoid it. Like, I've had my younger years where I was like, oh, what am I going to do with myself? At one point, I was thinking even giving up music and like start writing books and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, which could still happen, no fucking doubt.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, that ain't who I am. Like, I'm not this calm, docile. I had a moment where you know what I'm saying? Because I've been on 100 my whole life.
Yeah.
And then one day, like 24, around that, like late 23, 24. I've found zero.
Yeah.
I've actually found a way to get to zero, but I'm not zero at all.
You can get there, but you're not that. I guess.
Yeah, So it's like, to be who I am is to truly be who there's no getting around. I have to truly be who I am. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, if I try to hold it back or leave it a little bit, like, bad, like weird, not even bad things happen, but legit, no bullshit, some weird shit just starts happening around me. It's like,
right. No, I say you've always been like one of the realest people, bro. Like, you've always been 100%, and I've seen your evolution as a person. Like, you know, you're obviously your crazy energy. People, you hear crazy sometimes and you think bad sometimes, but I always found your craziness, although sometimes overwhelming, I always found your craziness like really like compelling and very like, you know, evolutionary in the sense that like you've been able to take it and not let it hold you back, where some people maybe like become this like known personified as like, oh, this crazy guy, let's leave him alone. It's never deterred people. You've always had people in your corner. You've always had good friends, the whole community backing you up in their own ways. And like one thing I would really like to know is if you could go back, if you could take you now and you could go back and have a conversation with teenage Joe, 16-year-old, 17-year-old Joe, what would that conversation look like? What would you be talking about?
Don't fuck this one bitch. Actually, two. But never mind. But never mind. But yeah, man. But outside of that, keep it real, man. Not much.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't like I ever been wilding for just no reason.
True.
Like, I always tell people, there's a method to my madness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how ugly it is in the beginning, in the middle, as long as I know for a fact within myself, my bottom line gonna be straight.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just do what I need to do for myself, really. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a method to my madness, and it's a method I honestly try to keep to myself, because it's just like, I don't try. Nobody else. I'll show you, and if you want to emulate it, that's on you. But this is for me. Okay?
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. I mean, the methodical process of understanding yourself and understanding how to regulate yourself is an important part of becoming a man, you know what I mean, and just becoming a well-rounded adult. Like, we all have things, you know what I mean. Some people may not be like, super wild, but they may have some type of like destructive tendency or something like that. And it's all about becoming an adult is all about kind of learning how to balance the parts of yourself that either can be, detrimental or something that may not be so good for you, and learning how to get around it or curve it or, whatever you need to do to live with it, because certain things are just part of who you are, and like you said, like you are who you are, but there is a method to your craziness. So
I ain't trying to hurt nobody. That's actually like my one rule to everything. If anybody gets hurt by my actions, it's me. That is it.
Right.
Which, you know what I'm saying? I try to keep to myself, but at the same time, when it's time to bring people in, come on in. Come on in, you know what I mean? Well, I don't say I'm not an open book. I'm more like a pamphlet.
You're a trifold, bro. You're a trifold.
Like, just read it. Just read it. Just read it. If
just literature simple, right here.
Okay, fuck it. All right. Sometimes it's too simple. No, sometimes legit. Sometimes it's just too simple for people. Where it's just like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's it.
Yeah, you don't ask for much, bro. You are actually a pretty simple dude, in the sense of what you just ask of the people you interact with and the relationships that you have. You know what I mean? You ask for honesty, you ask for people being real, you know what I mean? And honestly, I think those are things that anybody should expect from any adult, you know what I mean? So I don't think you ask for a lot in that sense. One of the things I really want to dive into is some of the things that you got going on right now. Obviously, we mentioned in the intro about your comedy and just kind of like you dipping your toe into that. You said you're a part-time comic, but you never know when those things can excel and they become a full-time thing, who's watching at the right moment or whatever. Do you have any, like, I know obviously you're at the very early stages of it. What are some of the early things that you've learned that's kind of helped you got better at it? And what are some things that you want to try to continue to do to improve?
As far as comedy? Well, I mean, honestly, one of the better things that helped me is just going in a mirror, recording the audio of yourself, and just, you know what I mean, and just going over some shit. Like before I go on stage, like I go over like a list of jokes, or like not even jokes, like more like observations in like quick sentences, and just kind of glance at them and and then just like, all right, kind of run through my head. Like when I'm waiting for my turn to go on, I'm basically staring at every performer like this. But it's basically me like getting my thoughts together, like, you know what I'm saying? Then when I get up there, I just let loose. So like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? That's it. But then after that, I'm laughing at everybody's jokes. Like, all right, I get it. Cool. Woo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a legit pressure like gets off my back.
So after you're done with your set, like that's when the pressure goes off and you could kind of just kick back.
Yeah, my body feels mad loose. It's just like, all right, cool, good.
That's dope.
You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Like, good or bad, you know what I'm saying?
What was the thing that made you want to do it? Like, what made you like? Cause I had obviously you've always been like super. We all have our jokes, in the group. But like, what made you actually want to say, you know what? Let me just give this a try.
Well, my first time I ever did stand up was in 2012.
That far back, really?
I went to Pianos, and they had like an open mic night
in Bloomfield.
And they had like an open mic. Wait. They had an open mic night. It was kind of an awkward. It was a very awkward night to say the least.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I went up there. I was just like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Joe. Da, 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 da. So what's everybody drinking tonight?" Everybody said what they were drinking. I was like, "Cool. So what's everybody drinking tonight?" And then I basically walked right off the stage right after that. And I literally just explained my first stand-up performance. Like, I went up there and I was like, yeah, no. And then I didn't go on stage for years. Honestly, I tried to get ready. I had like years of like me doing like performance, like stand-up bit videos just on my phone, just like. Let me do this shit on my phone first, and try it like there. And it's a bunch of riffs on my computer for years. And I just be like, and then one day I just said, it was not during the pandemic, it was during this year. And I was just like, I need to pull the trigger, like just go up there and do it.
Yeah,
so, Yep. So I went to Broadway Comedy Club in New York at the 5 o'clock joint, and I was just like, all right. We're going to just do it. And that performance went really well. Everybody thought I did this for a while. I was like, no, it's my first time. It's my first time. Like, you know what I mean? Even the lady that was hosting the joint, she did Broadway Comedy Club. She was hosting it for years, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, good. That was fucking very fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. I gotta go back there again. But you know what I mean? But I've done that. I did Producers Club twice. I forgot. Oh, Laughing Buddha in Brooklyn. I haven't done much in Jersey yet. You know what I mean? Because I'm on some like, let me leave home and get my shit up. That way, when I actually do come home, I can actually. I feel better. I feel better spreading my wings here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I'll come home when I'm ready. On some like prodigal son type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I understand. Well, that's a good segue into the next thing I want to say, because you are a person that lives and breathes Jersey, bro. You rep EO harder than most people, bro. And one of the things that I feel isn't very understood to the community, to the world itself, is Jersey is just kind of the culture, the community, the artistry that comes from Jersey. And you even posted something about it recently, you know, and you just said like, I want to go to my Jersey, you know, the Jersey that I know, and that type of thing. What do you think is something that people, you know, why do you think there's this kind of misinformation about Jersey, or this kind of like, I don't know, this weird perception of what Jersey is, coming from there and loving it as much as you do?
Well, as far as like culture and everything, the culture that I'm gonna talk about is like the Newark Essex County culture. Really, that's the culture I'm really gonna talk about.
Right.
And the culture there, honestly, always comes from like a more pure sense. Whereas like back when there was the battle rap scene, cats was just going back and forth, and we was rapping hard. When we was having that. Like our neo soul, like, you know what I'm saying, on some hippie, on our hippie neo soul. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was like coming from a real pure, like eventually all of it breaks down and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even with the battle rap scene, like people got too clicky. And then it was just like trying to, you know what I'm saying, if one of us come up, we all come up. But then it was just like, but then that broke down, and Jersey became, and those type of artists came together when they moved by themselves.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like what we kind of do is like, you have your projects and your things, and me and Eugene come and help you with your stuff, and vice versa, you come and do our thing as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that trading of just like, yo, when I need the resources or I need the people around me to kind of come and support, people show up. You know what I mean? But it's still, you have your own personal journey, your own personal thing. Yeah, man, shout out to Jersey, bro. Shout out to Newark, the whole Newark scene, Cash, Goo, all these dudes are out there just always doing stuff for the culture and always trying to push things forward and make sure that Newark and Jersey itself gets on the map and people understand the type of culture, because there's some real unique art that comes out of there. There's some real unique people And that's, I always respect anybody that, is really trying to push hard for it,
Yeah.
So one of the things I really want to talk to you about as well is, besides obviously your comedy venture, is all the music that you're doing, because you released To Love It Hate Everything, and that shit was super fire. We played those shows so many times with such classics, Food and Fuck and Rat Race and all this stuff, and and those are always fun to play. But obviously the music never stops, the ambitions never stop. So like, what are some of the things you got going on right now?
Well, right now I've been doing, since the pandemic, I figured since there was going to be no shows during that time period, I was like, let me just take some time away and just chill for myself, honestly. You know what I mean? I tried to keep my voice up, but then I definitely started lacking on my practices, and I was just like, yeah, I just need to chill. But then I started producing for a lot of other people then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Daijah, me and homegirl Daijah, she would always come through. We would always work together. And then me and Future, we had Future One Love. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, shout out.
We had a couple of projects that we was definitely just like leisurely working towards for a while. So, you know what I mean? And that's when I was just like, let me put these final touches on this. So now we actually got 2 videos shot for it and a photo shoot. So now we basically just putting those final touches on it, and
nice.
He's going to be the next project that I come out with right there.
That's awesome, man.
You know what I mean? So be on the lookout for that.
Be on the lookout for that for sure. For sure, bro. Yeah, man. You don't stop.
Oh yeah,
man.
Shout out to Sinsei Vibes, man. That's been my guy for a while. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. Sinsei Vibes. He been working hard as hell.
Yeah.
We've been working together a lot lately too. So he the man right there.
That's
Him,
right.
Troy, Red November.
Yes.
My guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Synergy.
Yeah, man, for sure. Shout them all out, bro. Thanks for putting them on the map, man. But you know what? I don't want to hold you up too much longer. The last thing I always do on this show is especially in a person like you, I want to just get your words of inspiration for our viewers. Let them know what you're thinking, what's on your mind right now, just any words of inspiration you have for them.
Perseverance. That's one thing I always stuck with me very, very, like, if you can persevere, if you learn what perseverance truly is, not much can stop you. There's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be hindrances, but perseverance is just saying, fuck that. And you're just going to grind it out however you need to grind out. It's like, sometimes you got to burn a bridge, but that's fine. Bridges can be built again. That's cool. You know what I mean? So just, if you persevere, all will work out for you.
Words of wisdom from Mike Markz. Shout out to you, my brother. I'm so glad you came here with me today. That's going to be it for this episode of the Canoe Creative Spotlight. Make sure you follow Joe. Make sure you check out all the people we tagged below, all the people he shouted out in this video. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CreativesNearU. That's Creatives Near the letter U. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that bell, leave a comment, leave a post. Make sure you follow us on SoundCloud if you're checking this out on the podcast. My name is Chris. As always, make sure you always connect, collab, create.